SAT example 105, you have a cube and each edge of the cube is a ½ inch. And what you're after is the length of the diagonal that runs from one top corner through the interior of the cube to the bottom opposite corner. Now there's an easier way to do this, but I'm going to take the harder route first. So what we're going to do is, let me switch colors so you can see it on that white. Let's go with the red. I'm going to draw in the diagonal from corner to corner on the base, and you can see what you have is a right triangle. Now that right triangle on the base, there's actually two right triangles. We'll look at the one on the base first. This one, now that's a right angle in this closest corner. It doesn't look like it because of the way the figure is drawn, but since the cube is made of squares, that has to be a right angle. We can use the Pythagorean theorem to find that diagonal on the base. 1/2 squared plus 1/2 squared is going to equal that diagonal, which I'll call d squared. So we have a fourth plus a fourth, which equals d squared. But a fourth and a fourth is a half, so 1/2 equals d squared. Therefore d equals the square root of 1/2 when we take the square root of both sides. Now I'm just going to leave it like that for now. I'm going to write it right on there. The square root of 1/2 is that diagonal on the base. Now we're trying to find the question mark, so we move to the other right triangle, which I've got highlighted in red, the one that cuts through the inside. Well, we know the one we just found on the bottom is the square root of 1/2. The left-hand side up and down is 1/2. Since it's a cube, all the dimensions are the same. And now we can find the one that's in question. So there's the right angle, and we're going to use the Pythagorean theorem one more time to find the question mark, which I'll call C. Here goes. 1/2, which is the left side squared, plus the bottom side, which is the square root of 1/2 squared, is going to equal our C squared. Well, 1/2 again squared is 1/4. And the reason I left that as a radical a minute ago, because I knew I was going to end up squaring it again. But if you square a square root, you're going to get the radicand. So the square root of 1/2 squared is 1/2 equals C squared. Two fractions to add together, common denominator of 4. So 1/2 becomes 2/4. Add those together, you get 3/4. Take the square root of both sides, and you get the square root of 3/4, which will equal C. Now, we can separate that, the square root of 3 over the square root of 4. Of course, the square root of 4 on the bottom is 2, and there is your answer, which is choice E. So you have to go through a couple steps to get there, but it doesn't take that long. You just got to use the Pythagorean theorem twice.